What's going on, guys? Welcome into the Packers Report. I am your host, Joey Petersen, and on today's show, we got a loaded one for you guys. We're going to give you a shocking new update on TJ Watt, one that I'm at least going to say it surprised myself. And then on the second half of today's show, back in, we're going to look at the best edge draft targets. So if Green Bay doesn't end up trading for TJ Watt, here's some guys they could target in next week's NFL draft. And a little bit of a reminder why we're talking about this. TJ Watt posted this on his Instagram story last week, and many people think it's because contract negotiations with Pittsburgh haven't been going that great. That's why he posted a picture of him in his Steelers uniform with a peace sign, so then the trade rumors just kept running. Prove it for me down below in the comment section. Do you want TJ Watt to be a Packer? If so, go ahead and like today's video. I want you to cast your vote. If you want to be a Packer come 2025 NFL season, go ahead, hit that thumbs up button. So all of this video streams around Bovada, okay? It is a gambling website, and they released their odds where Watt will play in week 1. The Pittsburgh Steelers are still number 1, but the second highest odds team is the Green Bay Packers at plus 700. And I'm not going to lie, this surprised me. This was shocking to me, okay? Because the Packers are technically the betting favorites of all the teams in the National Football League if he gets traded. Okay, now they did say he has much better odds to return to the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I would agree with. But Bovada is pretty much saying if he does get traded, most likely it's going to be to the Green Bay Packers, or more likely than anybody else. Plus 700 odds if you are not heavily intertwined in the gambling community, which if that is the case, congrats to you, stay that way. They indicate a 12.5% probability. Okay, so a little bit over 10%. Honestly, I'll take it. Okay, I think that TJ Watt is one of the best edge rushers in this game. And we all know how much I believe and I feel that this team needs a shakeup when it comes to their front four, when it comes to their ability to rush the passer. And TJ Watt does that better than almost anybody in this league. If you look at his last 4 seasons, I mean, the dude's just been absolutely unbelievable. His sack numbers are so high that I can't even do the mental math to add up how much they would be. It'd be like, what? Almost 50 sacks? I don't even know, because he had 22 and a half in 2021. He had 19 in 2023. And this last season, which was a down year, he gave you 11 and a half sacks, 61 tackles, 19 tackles for loss. And every single one of those numbers would have been leading all edge rushers, all defensive linemen on this Green Bay Packers team. So my take on this new news, this new development is I still would be surprised if it happened. Okay, plus 700 odds against 12.5%. It's not that like high of a percentage chance. But at the same time, this team has the capability to win now. The way your roster is structured, your offensive line, your running back, your quarterback, the other key pieces you have in the defense. And if I'm Goody, I'm looking at the possibility of adding TJ Watt as the final missing piece that this team needs to finally go out there and get a job done that they haven't been able to do in the last 15 years. So what say you? Let me know. Should the Packers trade for TJ Watt? Give me a yes or give me a no in the comment section down below. You might get hit with a YouTube ad break when that time comes. Don't worry about it. Just go ahead, find this pinned comment, and give me your answer. So I'll let you know why it might happen. Because a lot of people might be saying, Joe, you're just making this up. There's no chance this happens. It doesn't really make sense. I'm going to give you 4 reasons. Number 1, the Packers need an edge rusher, like I've talked about already. They had great sack numbers last year, but outside of that, everything was pretty bad. Pittsburgh is in a massive playoff drought, okay? And because of that, TJ Watt might want to get on a team that he believes he can actually compete and win a Super Bowl with. Pittsburgh currently is targeting Aaron Rodgers, but it seemed like they've been targeting Aaron Rodgers for the past month and a half, and nothing's happened yet. And if they don't land Aaron Rodgers, right now their quarterback situation is Mason Rudolph, which TJ Watt might look like and say, I'm not running back another season with Mason Rudolph as the starting quarterback. And so if they don't land him, Pittsburgh might just look at this and say, you know what, let's just do a full rebuild, so we'll take all the draft picks we can get. Who wants to give us something for TJ Watt? Now, the unfortunate truth about this whole thing is that if you do trade for TJ Watt, you're probably going to want to or going to have to pay him a big chunk of change because he might want $40 million. I know. It's a lot of money. I'd take $40 million. So I'm not surprised. He's been one of the best edge rushers in the game. But Mark Caboli tweeted this out last week and said, after talking to people, I'd keep an eye on this TJ Watt contract situation moving forward a little more closely. It doesn't appear that the Instagram picture he posted yesterday was just by chance. I'd imagine extension is still going to get eventually done, but the price tag just might be a tad bit higher than some anticipated. So why $40 million, Joey? Why are you pulling that money just out of thin air? Well, I'm not. It's exactly what Myles Garrett got just about 2 months ago when he extended with the Cleveland Browns. 4 years, $160 million total, $123 million guaranteed for an average of $40 million. And now you look at the way TJ Watt's current deal is structured. 4 years, $112 million, $28 million average, and $80 million guaranteed. So, a good step back from all of those numbers. And TJ Watt looks at what Myles Garrett got, and he says, we've had very similar production, which they have. We're a very similar age, which they are. TJ Watt is just half a year older than Myles Garrett is. If he just got $40 million from his dumpster fire of an organization, why shouldn't I feel like I deserve to get $40 million? And for that reason, I kind of see his reasoning. If you look at the highest paid edge rushers, he still finds himself in the top 10 right there at number 7, $28 million a year. But, he sees that number 1 spot. If he believes, he feels like he's the number 1 edge rusher in this league. And you know what? He's won a defensive MVP award before, so that might prove it. That he might feel he needs $40 million. And then you look at that list. And you know who's a guy I don't see on that list right now? Is a guy called Trey Hendrickson. Okay? And I might rather trade for Trey Hendrickson because of that. He'd be a little bit cheaper. Sure, he's not necessarily the same dominant force that TJ Watt is, but he's coming off of back-to-back seasons with 17 sacks. This dude is an absolute monster. I think, and I've been saying it all offseason long, the most underrated edge rusher in this league. And you wouldn't have to pay him 40, okay? He went on the Pat McAfee show last week and said, I'm not asking for $40 million. I just need to get paid how I feel I deserve. So, contract projection, 3 years, $90 million total, $30 million guaranteed. He's the exact same age as Myles Garrett, exact same age as TJ Watt. And so, if I'm looking at who I'd rather trade for, of 2 guys who have similar production, one's going to be possibly $10 million cheaper, I'm going to take that one. In just my humble opinion. So coming up, I got the top draft targets you should be looking at if they don't trade for anybody, okay? Say Green Bay sits on their hands, doesn't make a move, which I would not be surprised by. Here's the top edge targets they might be looking at in the NFL draft. Before that, though, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, okay? We bring you daily Packers videos, breaking news coverage, the latest news and rumors. The best part is it does not cost you a single cent. Alrighty, so lock us in right now. And you know what? You can join the over 3,000 now. We haven't even updated that graphic yet because we're just growing like crazy. We got 3,000 subscribers. You could be the next one if you hit that big red sub button. Alrighty, let's start in round 1. James Pierce Jr. at pick number 23. I think that's a realistic target. I think he will fall to pick number 23. However, I just don't know if the Packers are incredibly interested. They haven't shown a ton of interest in James Pierce Jr. I think because of the scheme fit they're thinking about, I think they'd go Michael Williams over Pierce with that 23rd pick, okay? But Pierce, man, his numbers have been absolutely ridiculous. 7.5 sacks, 55 pressures this past year. He's a guy that just needs to put it together, all right? He's got the things you can't coach. He's got the speed. He's got the athleticism. He just needs to tie it on a little bow. And if he does that, if he can figure that out, he'll be a menace in this league. Round 2, let's talk about Jack Sawyer at Ohio State. He actually was my first round selection the first time I did a mock draft, and his draft stock has dropped considerably since then, but still I think he'd be a great round 2 selection. 64 pressures this last year. Now, he did play 16 games, so those numbers are a little bit higher than most people you're seeing. It's because he played 4 more games than most other people, but still what I love about Jack, and I've talked about this before, is he comes alive in his biggest moments, right? That strip sack against Quinn Ewers on the goal line in the semifinals to send his team to the championship. He made the play when it was needed. Let's talk about Femi Oladejo, a guy who has visited Green Bay out of UCLA, has a really good cross-chop move, just like Leatu Latu, his teammate last year at UCLA. He converted to edge rusher this past year, so he's still a little bit raw, but what he was able to show on tape was incredibly impressive. 33 pressures, 57 total tackles, 4.5 sacks. He's got the tools. Now it's going to be, is some team going to roll the dice earlier than round 3? Because I could certainly see that as a possibility, but if he falls to you in round 3, I'm not hesitating. I'm making that selection. Round 4, a guy who I believe is my top sleeper of the entire NFL draft, Antoine Powell-Ryland out of Virginia Tech. This dude's production has been absolutely off the charts, okay? I think he's being totally slept on. I think he's incredibly underrated. He is a little bit short. I think that's why his draft stock is falling a little bit, a little over 6'2.5". He is a little bit older, 23 years old, but still 48 pressures, 16 sacks with Virginia Tech. That means he's able to turn pressures into sacks, which is something so incredibly important in this league, in this sport, and in this game. Now it is your turn, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I just named 4. I need you to name me 1. Name a single edge you want the Packers to draft in the upcoming 2025 NFL Draft, which, by the way, we're only a week away from today. I cannot wait. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button on your way out of here. It's been an awesome, awesome, awesome time over the past couple months getting to get you guys all locked on Anthony Green Bay Packers. To keep us locked in, make sure to subscribe.